Welcome back to Charity Farms. My name is Teresa, but you can call me T. Today, we're going to do a walkthrough for week, I believe this is 3 of my garden tour. But I have a little bit of frustration because my leaves are rotting. What happened? What do I do? Oh my goodness. Really quick, I live really close to an Air Force base, so if you hear planes overhead, that's just because it's the end of the month and they're burning their fuel, so I do apologize for that. I will try to drown that out as I do my edits. I'm actually going to walk through everything that we have. What I ended up doing for my plants that had basically root rot, I have an app on my phone called Picture This, and that's how I was able to find out what's going on with it, because in that app it tells you if the plant is healthy, if the plant is sick, and why is it sick, what do I need to do. And the app told me that this plant, the leaves look like it was actually getting root rot. Now I also know that my plants are yellow, which means they need fertilizer. I knew that fertilizer was going to be an issue because I got topsoil, not garden soil. There is a difference. Topsoil still has nutrients. There's still living organisms in there, but it just needed more of the fertilizer. And I knew that going in, but I'm also on a budget, so I had to accommodate. I have like a gallon jug of fish emulsion concentrated, so I got plenty of fertilizer. That's what you'll see me spray, is the diluted version of fish emulsion into my areas so they can actually get the fertilizer that they need. When I looked at Picture This and I saw that my leaves looked like they were burning, and it's only been 90 degrees out here. It's not that hot. So I'm like, what did I do? That's when I did it, and that's when they told me that this is root rot. This is getting they're getting too much water. Okay. So basically what I got from that was understanding that my beds, I put rocks in there. Remember, I put river rocks in there to keep the soil from dehydrating, which is doing a wonderful job. But I also put pipes in there to make sure that excess water leaves. I believe the excess water is leaving, but what I failed to notice was that because the river rocks are keeping it cool, I don't need to water it nearly as much. So I backed it down to once a day, but I went 2 days without watering. I lost a few plants because of it, which I'll explain when I go through the garden tour. But it's only the end of May, beginning of June. I'm still hopeful. I know we're getting into the really, really nitty gritty here in Phoenix, Arizona, because it gets really hot in the next couple of months. But I'll still keep trying. I'll go for, August, September, October. We will make this work, and I'll bring you along. So let's go ahead and watch this video together. Okay, we're zooming in. I know the picture is blurry, but I'm trying to zoom into this oak tree to show you that these limbs are growing out of the trunk. Why Starlight Homes decided to plant oak trees, I'll have no clue. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep the oak tree under control. You see I have 2 hibiscus and a miniature pomegranate. And right now I'm just trimming the leaves for the yellow leaves that need fertilizer. This oak tree on the other side of my house, I know that there's a plant, and I don't know what kind of plant it is. It's a desert plant. Those are my neighbor's plants. So it makes it tree look a lot more bushier than what it is, but you'll see that it actually went down. Now we're just in the backyard, and we're in the tomato vine area on the east side of the house, and I'm just fertilizing. Everything is fertilizing. As you can see, the olive tree has yellow leaves. These are sunflowers, and they just need to get so much yellow in here. It's sad. I would love to give it more fertilizer, like through a hose, but it wasn't working the way I wanted it to, so I had to use my spray bottle. While I'm actually fertilizing, I decided to also plant some yard green pepper or green beans. I actually started them into a plastic bag with some water so that they could actually start giving me a root to make sure they're good, and that's what I planted in there. That's my squash bed. I lost all of my cucumbers, which really makes me very upset. I believe these ground cherries, the one on the far right, I believe I'm probably going to end up losing that one. I got rid of my caraway because it was dead, and now I am planting a purple echinacea. I believe that we're going to get more enjoyment out of that anyways. And I use that through my hydroponics, along with my stevia that I'm about to plant. I have a hydroponics in my house to actually help start things, to get them ready, and once they're ready, I just put them outside. Right, so back on the east side, you see that these are Floridade paste tomatoes, and I have 4 of them. They are circled. The bucket to the left, I don't think is really growing anything, even though I see something there. I'm not sure if that's really growing, so we'll see. The bucket next to it is Jersey Devil paste tomatoes, and I have 3 of them. Same thing, Jersey Devil paste, and I have 2. And then this is a mushroom basket, and it's a slicer, but the meat is not, there's more meat than there is juice. And an orange accordion, and then these are the Perron sprayless light slicers, and they are known to actually withstand the heat a lot better. And then you have the Bartino paste tomato and the unknown tomato. I believe it's a Perron sprayless, I'm not sure. 2 loofahs. The jumbo pink winter squash, looking forward to those. And then those are purple tomatillos. I believe I had one die on this one, but it looks like it came back, and that's just another purple tomatillo. This is the olive tree, and you can see the yellow leaves, that's why it needed fertilizer. This is a sunflower bed, but those are the 2 burgundy red ochras that I like. The 3rd one didn't come up yet, if it ever will. And then right here, I planted an Okinawa pink okra, so we're gonna try that too. This is the corn bed, and I have 1 burgundy red okra. The aloe vera that I must transplant, I just don't have the soil for it. The grapevine, and in that soil is all the bunching onions, but I haven't seen it yet. That's the Rainier cherry. We're looking forward to that. Okay, so now we're going to approach our asparagus bed. You see Moose and Moses. And in that asparagus bed, I have a Cardon Gabozo Denizo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is actually a type of an asparagus. You have the aloe veras. And then you have the stevia, the raspberry, the 2 honeyberries, and the blueberry. The other 2 containers that don't have a name, I just have to keep their soil and good to go. That's the marshmallow, because I'm going to plant other stuff in there. Alright, so I have 1 garbanzo bean, and those Chinese noodle beans, as I said, they needed fertilizer, and they were also suffering. That area is where I planted the green, pole green beans. Those are the winged beans, the soybeans, which at the very end of this video you're going to see how I found out what's wrong with these soybeans. Alright, so we have down here the Kiwiana Rund and the Siamese Bitter. Neither one of them made it, I saw this morning, so I'm going to have to start new ones. And then these are just the hot peppers. But I did notice that 2 of them are coming back that I replanted. There's one Anaheim that's back there, and then this is the Ahi Charapita. I'm looking forward to that one. I think they're supposed to be really small, golden hot peppers. Chamomile. And of course, this is all of our sweet pepper beds. So we're still waiting for the fruit, but that takes time. Right. So they have the holy basil, the catnip, which grows like crazy, the oregano, and the purple echinacea that I planted. That's strawberries. I'm not sure if that's a strawberry or a weed. I gotta let it grow a little longer to find out. That is the red curry that I ended up planting to replace the Long Island pumpkin that didn't grow. And the other flowers and things that you see are onions and just flowers. I lost a lot of squash. The one Zapatita summer squash is gone. I just replanted those, and those are just the smaller zucchini squashes. All my cucumbers gone. That is the Big Mac's pumpkin. I had to remove about 3 of her leaves to kind of get her back to where she needed to be. And this is the ground cherry bed. This one is doing really well. She's starting to grow more leaves at the very bottom, so soon I'll be able to chop off the top. But I did notice that she had a leaf that had bugs. I'm sorry that blurred out, but there are bug eggs on that. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's being thrown away. I was trying to get it to zoom in. It just wouldn't zoom in. I apologize. Okay. This one is starting to grow leaves down at the very bottom, but she's doing horrible at the top. That is the dragon fruit. And again, I need 2 dragon fruit because they like to, they need 2 to actually pollinate. That's the Pink Lady apple tree. And the Honeycrisp apple tree. Alright, now how I figured out what was going on with my plants. I got an alcohol picture of this. I took a picture of the edamame, which you'll see right here. This is one of them that I'm taking a picture of. And it tells you it's a soybean, what it is. This plant looks sick. And that's what it tells me, leaf rot. Your plant leaves are rotting, indicating leaf rot. Your plant leaves have become soft and discolored due to putrefaction or rotting and may have a foul, offensive odor. They didn't have that. These symptoms are from a bacterial infection that is damaging the plant. Bacteria from many sources in the environment, air, water, soil, diseased plants, infect a plant part through wounds, or in some cases the stomata when they are open. Once inside the leaf tissue, the bacteria feed and reproduce quickly, breaking down healthy leaves. Bacterial infections threaten most plant species and are more prominent in wet weather that transfer that bacteria from plant to plant or from soil to plant. That's how I kind of gathered I'm getting them too much water, because this is actually happening mainly in the beds that have the river rocks. It tells you the solutions, like I don't have copper-based bactericide. I'm on a budget. I do not have it. I gotta go with what I have and just putting all my trust in God. So I cut the leaves, I got rid of them, I made sure that they were out of the soil, they weren't around the surrounding area, they are thrown away, and I used my fish emulsion fertilizer to kind of help that out, and I didn't water it for 2 days before I did anything. For 2 days I didn't get any water, and then I fertilized. But this just kind of gives you a little bit more clues, and I kept this in here just in case you are actually having that problem. At least you can see what are some ideas that you can do. So you can actually pause this screen or take a snapshot of your screen, and if this is what you need to do, this is what you do. If you want this app costs about $30 a year. Totally worth it. This is my front yard, and the hibiscus actually bloomed when I was going to the gym. They are so pretty. I love the fact you got yellow and pink. Now that one bush that I didn't know what the name of it was, I got 2 of them. And these were planted by my builders. And again, I used the app to find out what this is. And it's a crimson bottle brush. They are pretty. What I can't understand, however, is we have a plant height of 3 to 16 feet, and they spread 8 feet wide. Do you know how big oak trees get? They get huge. That's why I have to keep them trimmed, because they're too close to my house. Why are they giving me other trees so close to each other? I'm going to replace those oak trees eventually. Oh man, they scare the daylights out of me because they're so... They do actually get big, which means the roots go under and they destroy your driveway, they destroy the watering system, they destroy your house, your foundation. Just trying to figure out why they planted oak trees so close to the house. That's okay. When you actually have a situation like that, what you do is you keep them trimmed, and actually keep them trimmed at the very top so they don't grow. It actually kind of stumps their growth. That's how you kind of make them dwarf. Well, if you got like a fruit tree and you couldn't find a dwarf, that's how you would do it, is make it dwarf. Okay, but that's how you would actually do it, is you would take your tree and you would make it cut it at the very top as high as you would want it to go, probably about 6, maybe 9 feet, and then just make sure that it doesn't grow any taller. It would keep the roots from not growing further out because they keep that good balance. But it would also help the tree because then they could actually get what they need to produce more fruit. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Pray that I get this to work out. It's a little frustrating. I'm hoping for fruit. It's not fun. It's not pleasant. But, you know, how else can you learn if you don't also see the mistakes that go with it? Until next week. I'll see you next time. God bless you. Bye.